Grandmama, what are you doing behind the table?
Good afternoon. I'm Rose with Grandma Rose's Open Pantry, and I am doing a first today, and I'm going to bring y'all along with me. I always buy my gluten-free pie crust, but today I'm going to try to make one, and so we're going to see how it turns out. I've made regular pie crust, and it's basically the same way. I've just never used the gluten-free flour to make a pie crust, and today I'm using the King Arthur gluten-free flour, and I'm going to do it in my food processor, and it calls for 2.5 cups of flour. So I always spoon my flour into my measuring cup, and then I take a knife and I kind of level it like that, and then level it off like that. And when you spoon your flour into your measuring cup, that makes sure that you get that air gets into your flour and it's not packed down. So this is a 1 cup measure.
So in baking, if you dip your cup down in the flour and pack it up in the
A lot of
cup,
time
it can make a difference.
it makes a difference because you get more flour in there than what you would if it was light and fluffy.
Who
So-
would have thought that?
Yeah, so that's 2.5 cups of flour. Now to this, I am going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And if you're doing it for a sweet pie, you can add a tablespoon of sugar or a tablespoon of brown sugar or a tablespoon of your natural sweetener, whichever one you want to use. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to make a regular one without the sugar substitute. So I've got my butter in the freezer, and I'm going to put my lid on, and I'm going to put some butter in, and I'm going to start pulsing it. Woo! Wow.
Go.
Okay, put some more butter. And I'm doing it to where the mixture is kind of like it's a pea size, all of it's like little peas.
Well, why the cold butter? You took it out of the freezer.
Because it makes for a flakier crust.
Now, it hadn't been in the freezer long, but you put it in there to chill it.
It says cold butter, but I like to put mine in the freezer for a little bit before I process it. Goodness, it's coming out the side. Okay, now, honey, if you'll come over here, I'll show them
I'm
what I
coming.
mean. You see all those little,
It's making little balls
it's making little balls.
around the butter particles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Like a real coarse flour.
Yes.
I mean, a meal, actually, is what
Yeah.
it is like.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Kind
So,
of. Okay.
but it's just looks like little pea-sized pieces of your mixture.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it calls for apple cider vinegar. I've never used apple cider vinegar, but I'm going to use it today because that's what it calls for. It calls for 1 teaspoon, and this is 1/2 teaspoon, and it's spilled over a little bit, so okay, that's 1 teaspoon. All right, now, this is ice water. And I've got 1/2 cup of ice water here
You know, I'm going to ask you why it's ice water.
to keep your butter cold.
Okay.
And if it was warm or room temperature, your flour would get mushy. It would get too gummy.
Okay.
So you use ice water. I've got ice in my water. And it may take the whole 1/2 cup. So I don't want to get the ice in it. So I'll pour a little bit. And I'll pulse it some. And I'm just pulsing kind of soggy. All right, I gotta take this off. It's wanting to, all right. I gotta get it, I don't know why but it's wanting to all stick. Here we go. Okay, now let's try it. But it was getting caught around the sides. Check it. You want it till your mixture gets, it said shaggy, and if it sticks together like that, that's what you're looking for. So it's all sticking together.
Let me show them what shaggy looks like.
That's what shaggy looks like. And it did not take, I used a 1/4 cup of water. It didn't take the whole 1/2 cup.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do now is put my processor there.
I think I'd always just buy me a Crust, darling.
Well,
I'd never get all this just right
it's
that you're doing.
easier. Listen. Once you get all this done, though, and you pour it out on your little mat here that I've got. Let me get all this out.
Okay, let's look at it again. All right, this is the way it looks.
Yep.
Wow.
Like this. Okay. Now.
You just start, I can smell that vinegar, can't you?
Yes, I
A little
can.
bit of
I'm
vinegar.
wondering if I should have put it in there. All right. You just hold on. I got to get some more
I
salt.
vote yes. Apple cider vinegar is good for you.
Well,
They
I don't
say.
know how it's going to taste in a pie.
It does have a good effect. Apple cider vinegar does have a good effect on keeping your insulin down.
Yeah, but,
So Dr. Bickman says.
well, if it's not good, we'll just see how it's going to taste.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I'm going to put some flour down. Get all my crust here. Get all this that's on the side. Okay. Now, I'm just going to work it. You don't want to work it too much because you don't want your butter. You don't want to melt this butter. And when I get it all put together, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes to keep that butter cold. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to keep your butter cold. Now, if any of you have ever used gluten-free flour, you know it's a little grainy. So that's the reason I've never made a pie crust with gluten-free flour, is because I didn't want to, I didn't know how it would turn out. So I'm going to separate this.
But you're going to find out today,
I'm
aren't you?
going to find out today. Yep.
And as always, if it doesn't turn out well, you viewers will never see it.
That's right. So I'm going to just make 2 little discs here. But now it feels really good. The dough feels real good. It feels like it's going to work real well. So, and I don't know why it wouldn't. I mean, and I'm used to using a lot of gluten-free flour just in my baking and my cooking, but I've just never made a pie crust with it. So, I'm going to get rid of all this. I'm going to wrap this pie crust in some saran wrap, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 15 or 20 minutes, maybe about 30 minutes. So I'll be back with you as soon as I take these. I'm probably just going to roll out one today because I hadn't decided what kind of pie I'm going to make. Probably a pear pie.
Pear is my vote.
Yeah, we've got, our pears are just coming off. We've got fresh pears on the tree, and we've not harvested any yet, but I was gonna make some pear pickles in the morning, so we've got to go out this afternoon and pick our pears. So probably what I'm gonna show you is how to do a pear pie, And if I do that, then I'll use both of them because I'll need a bottom and a top crust. But if I do something like sweet potato, pumpkin, egg custard, or something like that, then I'll just use one of the crusts and I'll leave the other one in the freezer. So I'll be back with y'all in about 30 minutes as soon as I see, as soon as this gets cold.
All right, you're rolling it out, Grandmama?
I am. I took it out of the refrigerator. And now, gluten-free flour is a lot harder to work with than regular. So it's crumblier. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to get it off of here into my pie dish. I hope I am. And you know what? If this fails, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it on this pan, just a flat, and I'll make a gelato. You know what a gelato is? It's where you put your pie crust down, you put your filling in it, and you roll the sides up. That's the pie. So if I can't get this in that pie dish, then that's what I'll do. I will not be defeated.
That's famous last words of a chef, Rose.
I will not be defeated. I will. I will get this done one way or the other. So, okay. But you see, it's just so crumbly. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get it in this pie dish. I'm hoping I will. All right.
Flour on your roller?
Yeah. Put a little bit of flour
Keeps
on
it from sticking.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, there it goes.
I'm
There it
gonna roll
goes.
it up.
There it goes.
The ends want to kind of break, but I can fix that once I get it in my dish.
Okay. Lap it over.
All right.
Oh.
Unroll it. Woo!
Oh! Grandma!
Okay.
Look at the camera and smile, Grandmama.
I'm telling y'all, this is something for me. Then take your pie crust and press it in your up against the edges like that, because you want it all the way. Because when you fill your pie, you want it to be. You want to mash that down. All right. Now I've got a little place here that I've got to patch, but that's all right. Right there. I'll just take my dough and I'll just patch that because I got all this hanging over the side.
Would it help
here.
to wet it before you stick it there?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Well, you can imagine what mine might look like because I would have wet it and made it stick.
Okay.
Maybe a little children's glue.
I'm gonna get
white glue.
A little knife here, and I'm gonna go around the edges and I'm gonna cut this.
Oh my.
This off like this.
That's even beginning to look like a pie crust.
I know it is. This is
amazing.
So if y'all gonna work with gluten-free flour, you're gonna have to be patient. I can tell you right now. You're just gonna have to be patient.
Well, or you don't worry too much about your standard looking all the way up the edges, just
Right.
perfectly like a bought pie crust. You just
And the reason I decided to try to make my own is they're so expensive. Gluten-free pie crusts are so expensive in the grocery store. Yes, gluten-free flour is more expensive than regular flour. But when you pay $6 is what I paid for my last gluten-free. It was two, you know how they come 2 in a pack? It was 2 in a pack, but still, I'm not used to paying $6 for 2 pie crusts. So
that's
I said,
$3 a
well,
piece in each pie before you even get started,
I said,
isn't it?
well, if I can make my own, then that's what I'm gonna do. And so now I'm just gonna take my fingers. Honey, you wanna come over?
Yeah, I do. I want to see what
And
you're
I'm
doing
gonna
with your
kinda
fingers.
Decorate this. This is the way I do it. Just take 2 fingers.
Now you worked all that time to get it perfectly laid out. Now you're taking your finger and crumpling it.
No, I'm not. I'm
Well,
making a design.
creasing it,
I'm
yeah.
making a pretty design.
I know
of it.
you are. I'm
And
just.
some people do it other ways. They take and pinch it, but this is just the way I've always done it. I like this design, and so This is just the way I like to do it.
Does it make it taste better?
No, but it makes it pretty. So, there we go.
That is pretty.
That's our gluten-free pie crust, and I will fill it tomorrow probably with pear.
Tilt it toward me a little bit.
Okay? That's our gluten-free pie crust right there.
That's good.
And it turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I wasn't sure how it was going to do, but I said, well, you know what? If they can make them professionally in these manufacturing companies, then I surely can make one. So don't be intimidated by a pie crust. If it don't work, wad it up, put a little bit more flour in it, and try to roll it out again. And so, you know what? If I had totally messed this one up, I got another one in the fridge I could have tried. So, but I just wanted to show y'all how you can make a gluten-free pie crust, and it'd be a lot cheaper than buying them in the grocery store. So, tomorrow we're going to fill this up with something. I don't know whether it be pear or not, but I've got another crust in the refrigerator, so if it's pear, I'll roll it out, put it on top. We're out picking pears this morning.
Okay, we got a pie crust that we made yesterday, and Rose said, "Gots to have some pears." So here we are. We'll get a few pears. And,
You got to talk a little louder, all that road traffic.
okay, we'll pick these pears and go in and peel them and get them ready for the pie, because I love pear pies.
That's our little pear picking basket. It'll probably take 10 or 12 pears.
I think we got enough. This year?
Nope,
Nope.
nope, get a few more.
Okay.
Because get enough for me to eat one or two today.
Well, now you got to go easy on eating pears now, because we ain't got but about 300-400.
Some years they're a lot bigger than they are others. This year we had a lot of pears on there, and we didn't. They're good, aren't they?
Mm.
And we didn't pull any off, so they're not going to be as big this year.
Okay.
All right, let's
go to
make
the
some
house.
pear pie.
Fall is in the air, and so is a pear pie. That's what we're doing.
Okay, I'm peeling pears, the pears that y'all just saw Roy pick. And this pear tree is about 75 years old. Daddy planted it. He planted another one, but lightning struck it and it finally died. But this one is one Daddy planted probably 75 years ago. And we are still getting pears off of it. I wish there was an easy way to peel pears. You know, peaches, tomatoes, you dip down in hot water and the skin just comes off. But pears, as far as I know, this is the only way to peel them. And you can even have you can buy apple peelers, but I don't think they would work on pears. I've never seen anybody try to peel a pear with one of those apple peelers that you put the apple on it and turn the wheel and it peels it. But so as far as I know, this is the only way that you can get the peeling off of the pear. So I've got about 10 or 12 here that I'm going to finish peeling. And as soon as we get that done, then we're going to come back and make this pie.
And let me encourage you, if you don't have a pear tree or don't have a fig tree, figs and pears are so easy to grow. You just stick them in the ground, keep them watered for the first couple of years, and you'll have pears for years and years and figs for years and years. Diseases seldom really affect the pear trees, so we just enjoy them every year, and they're healthy and they come in handy too, but they make some delicious food. We pickle them, we use them for pears, so we put up pear filling. a lot of times, so we just use them in different ways, but they're really good and we love to eat them all year long.
Good morning. Y'all saw us earlier out at the pear tree picking pears, and then y'all saw me peeling them. And all I did was peel them, core them. I cut them in half, then I cut them in quarters and take the core out just like you would an apple. And then I sliced them about this thick. Some of them are thinner than others. Some of them are thicker than others. So I've got 2 tablespoons of butter in my pan here. I'm hoping this pan's, whoo, yeah, it'll be enough. It'll be big enough. But I'm gonna cook my pears for a little bit before I put them in my crust.
About how many pears was that, you think? Cups?
It was 4, no, sorry. It was about 6 cups of apples.
Okay.
It
Pears.
may be too many for my pie crust, but if it is, I'll cook them on down some more and make little apple pies with them.
Oh, they go good on pancakes.
Yeah, they do. Waffles.
Waffles.
Yeah, they do. So in here, I've got a half cup of pure cane sugar alternative. Wait just a minute. I want to show you. I saved the bag. I've shown you. That's the wrong one. Okay, it's back here. No, that's the wrong one. Well, I can't find it right now. But it's pure cane sugar alternative. And it's just like sugar. It's granulated like sugar. It tastes like sugar, except there's no calories, no carbs. They've taken all that out. And on top of that, I've got 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So I'm going to put that in my little bowl. And I've got a 1/3 cup of brown swerve, which is a sugar substitute too. So it's a 1/3 cup of brown swerve and a 1/2 cup of the pure cane sugar alternative, and the 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. To that, I'm going to add a teaspoon and a half, well, a little bit more, because we like it. We like spice in it. Roy really likes spice. And this doesn't have cloves in it, so I'm going to get my cloves out, because Roy really likes cloves, and he likes it real spicy. So I'm putting a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves in it. It called for a teaspoon and a half. I put 2 teaspoons of my apple pie spice and 1/4 teaspoon of cloves in it. So I'm just going to stir this up. And the brown sugar swerve has got a little bit of lumps in it, so I'm just going to get those out. Now remember, I've got 2 tablespoons of butter in the bottom of my pan. So I'm just going to put that in, and I'm going to put it on my, honey, you come around here.
Okay.
I'm going to put it on my burner. I'm going to put it on medium high, and I'm going to cook it for about 10 or 15 minutes just till my pears kind of get a little bit tender. That way you don't have to cook them quite as much and quite as long in the oven. And I forgot my vanilla. I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla in here. Recipe doesn't call for it, but we like vanilla. And so I always like to put a little vanilla in all my pies. So and I have got my oven set on 450. I'll cook this 450 for 10 minutes. Then I'll turn it down to 350, and I'll cook it for probably 30 or 40 more minutes. And so it's going to take this a few minutes to come up, for the butter to melt and to come up to temp. So I'll, as soon as it starts cooking good, I'll be right back with you.
They ready, Grandma?
They are? Okay. I'm putting my pears down in my crust.
That looks good.
Just the right amount. And when you do it like this, you get your syrup kind of thick, and it doesn't make your pie crust soggy like it would if you when you all right, I gotta be careful with this. Okay. Woo!
Girl.
Yay!
Girl.
Yay! Okay, I'm telling you, gluten-free pie crust is a little it tries your patience. So just always remember that. But it works. You just have to be patient. And I'm going to trim all the sides off. Like I say, I've got my oven set on 450. I'm gonna leave it there for 10 minutes. And all this little extra crust,
I think you got a piece on this side.
I'm gonna make some little
There you go.
fried pies out of them. So now, I'm just going to take and make my pretty little designs in it.
Let's see what she's doing.
What I'm really doing is binding those two crusts together. The bottom one and the top one, because you know I made this design on them yesterday. And so that's kind of what I'm doing this morning. Just kind of pressing them together when I do this. Okay, there's a little, oh, that's a little thing. All right, it's good that those got little holes in it, because I'm going to put little vent holes in it so some of that steam can escape. Okay. That is my first gluten-free pie crust. So, I'm going to put it in the oven. I'm going 450 for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it down to 350 for about 30 minutes probably.
So this is a sugar-free, gluten-free
Sugar-free, gluten-free.
pie.
Let me set my 10 minutes. Sugar-free, gluten-free pear pie. And so I'm going to come back and show y'all what this looks like when it gets through, and it's going to be just
Is it ready, Grandmama?
It is. My timer just went off, and it's cooked all over. It's cooked over in my oven, but that's okay. Oh my! Whew.
Oh.
Look at that!
Oh yeah.
My.
Oh yeah.
About halfway through cooking, I took and I spread butter all over it, and then I took some of my Pear Pie granulated sugar and I kind of sprinkled it over the top. So that's what all the little brown stuff you see is where it's getting on my cloth too, but that's okay. But this is our pear pie that we went out to the tree this morning, picked, came in and made our pie. And this is our gluten-free crust. So this is sugar-free, gluten-free pear pie. And I can tell you it's going to be delicious. So we can't cut it now because it is piping hot. And while I was cooking my pie, I had a little chicken pot pie mixture in the oven. So I just took and made a little crust for that, just enough for me and Roy. So I did that this morning, and I got all my ingredients out over here. I'm fixing to do some other things. So, but I just wanted to bring y'all back and show you my pie, and I wish I could cut it. But if y'all know anything about hot pie, it would just be a mess trying to get out of the pan, the pie pan, because it's just so hot. So we're gonna have to let it cool before we cut it, and that's gonna take a couple hours. So thank y'all for joining Roy and I this morning at our pear tree and in my kitchen. And y'all please subscribe, hit that notification button so it'll notify you when I upload a video. So, and I'm sorry I'm a little hoarse this morning, but I've kind of had a little thing going on in my head this whole week. So, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell, and please share and comment on this video and let me know where you're watching from. I've got people in New Mexico. I've got people all around. So and if you have a suggestion for me, something, especially on the pears, if y'all know how to peel pears in a better, quicker way, I wish y'all would let me know. Because Roy and I are going to do some pear pickles and some other thing with pears, and it takes us a couple of hours sitting down over there at the table peeling our pears. So if y'all know a better way to peel pears, I wish y'all would tell me. Let me know, because I sure would appreciate it. Love y'all.
All right. Let me tell you, friends, we have a Grandma Rose's blue ribbon recipe here. She never cooked this pie with gluten-free flour. This is one of the best pies we have ever eaten. Certainly fruit pies.
It's the best crust.
Oh, it's a delicious crust.
It's sugar-free and gluten-free.
Sugar-free and gluten-free. And if you hadn't got one of these already in your refrigerator that you've just cooked this morning, you need to be cooking you one of these. I want you to look at that.
I wish I could, you know what? I'm going to pick the pie up. Can you get under it? I want them to see how brown that crust is.
Tilt it back to you. It's not going to run out.
Can you get how brown the crust is? Does it show up?
It shows up some. It looks just like the top.
Mm-hmm, it does.
Looks just like the top.
Looks just, maybe I can turn it over. No, I can't. It'll
Some of
mess
the
up
juice is
top.
probably soaked through on the bottom, but I'm just telling you, that is blue ribbon recipe.
Hold on.
Now, Rose doesn't normally let me say anything about her recipes and her blue ribbons, but this is about $15,000. And this isn't all of them that she has won in national, local, and state contests that actually paid her money for the recipes that she has created. And she has taken that creativity now into developing recipes for a healthy Segway diet.
You want to watch me taste?
Oh, gracious. Are you really going to do that to these people? Now that's dessert, friends.
Here's the bottom of the crust. Wait a minute.
Oh,
I want
man.
them to see how brown.
No sugar.
Not the
Okay.
least bit soggy.
That's the brown, the bottom of the crust, not soggy.
Not at all.
Oh. You don't normally eat crust, Rose, and there you go, just swallowing. I was going to eat that piece of crust. Fresh pears from the tree. You're not saving me any crust this time, are you?
Well, yeah, you got the rest of this pie. It's got crust under it. Y'all, this is so good. I'm telling you. When I post this video, it's going to be the first of the week, next week before I post it. And I'm going to post the recipe. You have got to make it. You have got to. This is so good. And you cannot even tell this is gluten-free flour. I usually can tell because it's a little grainier, but not this. This is absolutely delicious. So, y'all have got to try this recipe, especially if you're gluten-free, sugar-free. Or if you're even not sugar-free, gluten-free, you can always, anything I do, y'all always know you can add regular flour, regular sugar, whatever. I have just taken all my recipes and tried to, or that's what I am doing, taking my recipes and making them gluten-free and sugar-free so I can eat them. But the original recipe is regular flour, regular sugar. I just have made them to where I can eat them. So y'all always know that when you are watching my channel, when you are reading my recipes, when you're watching me cook it, always know you can do it the traditional way. And I call the traditional way your regular white lily self-rising flour or King Arthur, whichever one you use. I like King Arthur flours. This is King Arthur gluten-free flour right here. I also use Bob's Red Mill. Those are the two that I really, really like. But you can use white lily self-rising, white lily plain, whatever flour you use, you can always use that in my recipes. And so I've told y'all that, but I just wanted to remind you, because a lot of people would see the gluten-free, sugar-free on my channel and think, well, I'm not interested in that. But you may not be interested in that being gluten-free and sugar-free, or even just gluten-free or just sugar-free, but you may be interested in my recipes, making them the way that the traditional way with your flours and sugar. So I just want to tell y'all that. So
if you have friends that are gluten-free or reduced sugar or people who are regulating their carbs, forward our video to them.
yes, please do share it with them. And this was just, I had to come back on. I ended my video earlier, but when Roy and I ate, we just took a piece out and we ate it together after we ate our lunch. I had to come back on and just show y'all this pie, what it looks like, and tell you how good it is. See you next time.